Conflict has no life. Anything which has life don't have conflict. That's all. In you, whatever has conflict, body, mind, has no life. In you, whatever has life, has no conflict. Then, why are you feeling conflict-filled life? Especially when you come around the master, he will see that you fall into conflicts. Because he has to remind you, till you realize the conflict-free space, the conflicts are there in you. Understand? Whatever conflict the world creates in you, he is to put you in more and more conflicts. Whatever conflict master creates in you, to lift you out of the conflict. I tell you, if you are blessed enough to be around master and he tries to create some conflict in you, that is the greatest blessing. Just stand by master. Just stand by master. I tell you, whatever can create conflict in you has no life. He will make you understand. He will make you understand. Whatever is life in you has no conflict. Whatever creates conflict in you has no life. Whatever has life in you has no conflict. Anything which creates conflict in you has no life. Understand? Your fear, it may have life. Maybe it is having few years of life. 1 year life. Nothing. It has no life. It has simply no life. Depression, insecurity, fear of your outer world wealth, or fear of your own image, everything, those things has no life. I tell you, conflict has no life, life has no conflict. When you think conflict has life, you are doing the mistake of avidya, what Patanjali says here, taking anitya as nitya, asuchi as suchi, and anatma as atma, dukkha as sukha. Please understand, conflict-free life is not opposite to conflict-filled life. If you think the word conflict-filled life and conflict-free life are opposite to each other, then conflict-free life itself has one conflict. Is it not? Understand? If a conflict-free life has an opposite of conflict-free life, then even if you achieve the state of conflict-free life, you have an opposite, you have a conflict of conflict-filled life. For example, now you all have a conflict-filled life. You achieve conflict-free life. Then naturally even there you have a conflict. Any time conflict-filled my life may come back. Is it not? That is why I am telling you, conflict-free life is not opposite to conflict-filled life. It is beyond conflict-filled life. Whenever master inflicts conflict in you, he invokes conflict in you, take that opportunity to jump and be in the space of conflict-free life. Understand, conflict-free life is not opposite to conflict-filled life. It is above the conflict-filled and conflict-less. Conflict-free life, the only way out of depression. Learn the art of prana pratishta. Learn the art of prana pratishta, giving life to what you want. Then you will just live in conflict-free life. Understand? It's a very simple truth. I think I would have explained this villager with whom I had a very strange experience. during my wandering, I was resting in the noon time under a tree, putting my head on a small stone, which had turmeric, all that little puja was done on that, but I did not expect it is worshipped by somebody as God. I thought maybe in village every stone, every tree is worshipped. In India, that's why when British put the milestones, first it was all painted in yellow. Suddenly they saw in 1 week all milestones have a fully dressed, decked with flowers, and people have started worshipping and everything has become temple. So they have to change the color. Now British had really tough time stopping the villagers worshipping the milestones, and it is perfectly shaped like a Shivalinga. That is why I just bow down to this civilization. How many thousands of mistakes this civilization may have, how much backward it may be, but just worshipping everything, whether it is a stone or a tree, the ability to worship everything. It's not a joke, understand? The ability to bow down to everything, the ability to surrender to everything, the ability to trust everything. One of the greatest gifts from the Ganges civilization to the whole cosmos is the ability to surrender, the ability to worship, the ability to trust, ability to dissolve. It's the greatest gift from the Ganges civilization. It is not a joke. When you feel an individuality, the ability to just relax, trust, ability to trust more than your boundary. There are many peculiar diseases only the ego-based civilizations suffer. One is osteoporosis. They don't trust their own bone structure. Many of the diseases the ego-based civilizations suffer does not even exist, because these guys just knows how to bow down to anything. Go to village, whether it is a small kids or the officer going to an office or anybody, when they walk on the road, see, every street will have 20 temples, small or big. They will bow down in front of every temple and go. And they will bow down in front of every temple very sincerely. Even in my school days, if school starts at 8:30, I'll start from my house by 6:30. And the school is only maybe 2 kilometers, not more than that. Because I will have to bow down in every temple, every deity. On the way, at least 25 temples are there. So I need 5 minutes in every temple. But I will always be late for the class, if at all I reach the class. I put my head on this stone. I should not say stone. Deity for somebody. Once it is deity for somebody, it should be deity for everybody. So, I put my head by mistake, without knowing, the deity on deity. Usually when there is a turmeric powder smeared, snakes will not come there. That is why in the snake holes, before worshipping they will put the turmeric powder. Snakes won't come. So I thought maybe that is an area where the snakes are too much, so somebody, before resting, they have put turmeric powder. They rested. So I put my head. Maybe in 1 hour, Some villager from 2-3 kilometers apart, away, he was running towards me, shouting. When he came near me, he just said, "Because you are a sadhu, I am leaving you. Otherwise I would have broken your head. How dare you put your head on my Shiva?" So he had a telepathy connection with the deity. He was sleeping in the house. Noon usually villages rest. See, morning they work before the sunrise, like around 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock they work in their field. Then once it becomes very hot, especially Madhya Pradesh, too hot. They rest in the noon time, evening again they come back and work in the field till maybe around 4 o'clock they will start until 7 o'clock, till it becomes completely dark they will work. So this guy was sleeping in his house and he ran and came and he said, "I saw in my dream somebody is disrespecting my deity, my Shiva. So anyhow, you are a sadhu, I am leaving you. Don't do this anymore." I really felt bad that I abused somebody's deity. So I apologized to him, but I was so happy that somebody could have a telepathy connection just with a stone. When you worship as a deity, he is so strong with his feeling connection, he was able to just connect with the deity, just with the trust. So I apologized, then I moved. There was a small temple in that village, I stayed in that village, in the temple. And I was talking about this incident to few people. Some foreigner came to that village like as a tourist. His guide, who can speak little English and little Hindi, or Hindi. That guy was taking around that foreigner and he wanted to show that foreigner some Indian sadhu. So he brought that foreigner to me and he was telling him about Indian sadhus, few things. Then I also tried. Those days I can't speak fluent English. I can manage but not fluently. Neither Hindi nor English, but somehow I manage my wandering. But broken Hindi words are enough. For sadhu you don't need to speak much. Now in North India they will give you food and they will take care of you, and great people. It's very beautiful civilization in the north, so much of respect and love for the sadhus and for the tradition. So I was explaining that like this happened. I put my head on the deity and that guy came running. He had a telepathy experience with the deity that he felt like he should protect it, that somebody is abusing it. Then he came running. I apologized. I told the whole story. This foreigner was really, he got the curiosity. Wow, he wants to meet that villager. So anyhow, this local guide said, "I'll get that villager, don't worry," because I described how that villager looks. Then this guide took that Westerner to that villager. I also wanted to see the fun, I went there. I also went. And during the conversation, that Westerner, he asked that villager what happened and all that, and that villager described, like this, I had a vision that my Shiva is being abused by somebody. I ran and I saw this sadhu was putting his head on that Shiva and I drove him out. He described all the story, and then that foreigner asked, that Westerner asked, "How did you feel this? How can this happen?" He said, "No, I feel it is Shiva for me, and so through this deity Shiva responds to me." That foreigner, I don't know whether he wants to test that villager or really he offered. He said, "If I give money, will you give this?" I'll give you $5,000. Means now 2.5 lakh. I don't know at that time what value. At least few lakh. Few lakh is not a small money. The villager, maybe his whole property will be only that much worthy. Whatever property he has, his house or little land, whatever he has, the whole thing will be only that $5,000 worth. And I thought really that villager is going to jump on that foreigner and finish him off. Shout at him or abuse him or drive him out, saying, how dare you bargain, give money, fix a price for my God, for my Shiva. I thought there is going to be big ruckus, chaos, big scene. I was just keeping quiet. I was really surprised. That villager very simply said, please take it. He gave it away. He said, please take it. Give the money and take the deity. And that Westerner really wanted to carry that as a souvenir. So he gave the money and took it. I think he gave in Indian rupee and took it. That guide, he also made little commission in the fixing the bargain. Everything was done. I was really shocked. Then after that Westerner went away, I caught hold of the guide and caught that farmer, that villager, and asked, how dare you sell your God? He was very cool. And I tell you honestly, he had a telepathy experience with the deity. It was not lie. It's the truth. He was very cool. And he told me very cool way, Swamiji, I did not sell my God. I just sold a stone which I thought as worshipped as God. I'll put another one stone. And not only that, with this money I'll build a temple for that stone. See, and he was very clear, I'll put another one stone and do prana pratishtha. And that will become God. Now I did two things. One, satisfied a Westerner and inspiring him in the tradition. You see, he will carry this. It will be a God for him. So in a way, I am responsible for spreading Vedic tradition to one person. True. See, he said, naturally he is going to carry it and worship. And I know the science of doing prana pratishtha. I'll put another one stone and worship it as a God. And this new stone is going to do the same work for me which the old stone was doing. So I have the ability to do prana pratishtha. I was really shocked. Understand? See, especially when you have some extraordinary experience with a stone, it is not an easy joke to retain the clarity. I put energy into it. Even though it speaks to me, it is my own trust. It is my ability to do prana pratishtha. This is what I call, even if you have the Daiva Bhakti, you should ultimately know the truth. It is Atma Bhakti. Your own Atman, you are seeing it as God outside. So the Daiva Bhakti should lead you to the depth of Atma Bhakti. I was shocked, a villager can have so much of clarity. And that guy really did not spend that money on himself. And he put another one small deity as Shiva and built a small temple. Not big, but small temple he built with that money. Still the temple is there. Ability to do prana pratishtha. The clarity to have prana pratishtha. Understand? Now, in your life also, because you gave life to the conflict, conflict appears as reality and you really perceive it. Because you perceive it, you forget you gave power to it. Don't forget, even if you perceive it as reality, you gave power to it. That villager, even if he is able to experience that stone as a God, he did not forget the truth, he gave power to it. He did prana pratishtha to it. But in your life, Even though you gave power to all the conflicts, after you start perceiving it, you forget you gave power to those conflicts. Remember, retain the ability to do prana pratishtha. When you gave power, when you perceive conflict, take the power back. Put the power on life. It is you who is going to decide whether to give power to conflict or life. Again, life has no conflict, conflict has no life. Life has no conflict, conflict has no life. This is the truth. So, yesterday I received a question from one early participant. Swamiji, sometimes the conflicts are so real. If I go on feeling it is not true, is it not like cheating myself? Where is the line? Understand, he was asking, where is the line for the optimism? Be extreme optimistic. Be extreme optimistic. There is no such thing as borderline for optimism. I tell you, give power to life continuously. Don't even a moment slag and give power to conflict. Optimism means giving power to life, doing prana pratishtha to life. So there is no extreme in optimism. Learn how that villager, he was able to put God in a stone. Immediately next moment he was able to put another stone and put God in it. Same way, have the ability to move life. If you have given life to conflict, if it is hurting you, just move it to the life. That's all. Nothing else. Today's subject, conflict-free life. We have right decision making. Again, the subject opens some of the deep important truths on decision making. What is right decision making? Seeing the past as past, future as future, present as present, and deciding is right decision making. Right decision making means seeing the past as past, future as future, present as present, without infusing the past into future or future into past. Many times, what you want in the future, you start dreaming, you had it in the past. We go on dreaming, we had a golden childhood. Every individual again and again and again goes on dreaming. If he is in the old age, he feels his middle age was great, golden. If he is in the middle age, he feels his youth was great and golden. If he is young now, he thinks his childhood was golden and great. Understand, this is one of the biggest illusion we have. Not only you project your past into future, you project your future into past. Understand, there was never any golden childhood. If the childhood was golden, out of that whatever comes out, you see, out of your childhood, youth came. Out of your youth, middle age came. Out of your middle age, old age came. So if your childhood was golden, then youth would have been golden or diamond. If your youth was golden, then your middle age should have been diamond or platinum at least. If your middle age was golden, then at least your old age should be platinum. Understand, not only we project our our past into future, we go on imagining our past was what we want in the future. We miss this important truth. We projecting our future into the past. We always feel, ask anybody, they'll say, oh, my childhood was great, golden childhood. No, you had all fears, all insecurity, all greed, all troubles. Actually, it all started there only. It all originated there only. So, right decision making means seeing the past as it happened, seeing the future as it is without projecting your past into the future, and deciding in the present. One important thing, many times you don't decide in the present. You just execute what you decided in the past. You don't wake up for the great changes happened, the different situations. We forget that you need to be in the present to make decisions. Do not be a worker executing your past decisions. Be a leader deciding every moment. All your suffering is because you are not deciding. You are a slave executing the decisions made in your past, sometime by mistake. Sometime you make some decision by mistake. You sit and think pros and cons, make one decision, over. After that, you forget that you have a component in you which has capacity to decide, and go on executing that past decision. By that time, you are executing 50%, the whole situation is different. But you are not sensitive for the present. You are just executing. So, the right decision making means these two things. Not projecting what you want in the future as you had it in the past. This is one of the biggest illusion we all have. How do you want your relationship to be? How it was 3 years before. Look, 3 years before also you had enough suffering. Unfortunately, you forget. Because you forgot does not mean it was not there. So, seeing the past as past, seeing the future as future, making decisions from the present is what I call right decision making. I'll expand a little more on this truths of time, kala, so that you will be able to understand this truth of right decision making. The psychological time and chronological time. Chronological time means the clock clicking. That is chronological time. Psychological time means your mind moving. Your mind moving to and fro or back and forth, whatever way it moves. gap between one thought and the other thought is 1 unit of time in psychological field. In the field of inner space, psychology, the gap between one thought and the other thought is 1 unit of time, kshana. In the physical field, all of you know, there are so many definitions of 1 second, 1 unit of time. There are so many definitions. The physical field that you all know, I don't need to define. But in the psychological field, gap between one thought and the other thought is 1 unit of time. When there is more gap, means less number of thoughts. When there is more gap, each unit of time will be more clear, more available, more spacious, so all your 5 senses can perceive it. Please understand. If the psychological 1 unit of time is 4 times more than physical 1 unit of time, your senses will be purified, because your senses will have sensitivity to perceive. If your psychological time unit is 5 times more than the physical unit of time, you will enter into the divine space, means the extraordinary smell, extraordinary taste, extraordinary hearing, extraordinary touch will start happening. Understand? Till this equation you need to understand. The physical unit, 1 time, 1 unit time, and psychological 1 unit time. If the psychological unit is at least 4 unit of physical unit, means like a 4 second is gap between one thought and the other thought, means your body will get the sensitivity to sense things peacefully. Till then, any decision you make, you directly go to hell. No roundabout way. Please understand, basic need of a human being is 4 unit of physical time as 1 unit of psychological time. This is the basic need of a human being. Only then you are a human being. Only then you have a right to handle your brain. This is a owner's manual for brain. If you have not learnt how to make 4 unit of physical time as 1 unit of psychological time, you are sitting and driving a vehicle which has no brake. This should be the basic lesson taught to all the beings which has an independent, intelligent brain. When a child is able to think independently, the first lesson you need to learn is how to make 4 unit of physical time into 1 unit of his psychological time. Then simply he knows how to run his life. How to run his life. When you are able to make 5 unit of physical time, physical unit into 1 psychological unit time, means 5-second gap between one thought and the other thought. Then you will start experiencing the divine, I can say that intense smell. What you go through in the energy darshan, the intense sound, the intense touch, the intense taste in the tongue, all this starts happening. Another important truth is, if your psychological unit is less than physical unit, 1 second, your time is not solid experience, it is a kind of a air, just disappears. That is what is called pralaya, black hole. Everything being sucked into it and nothing is delivered. That is what is black hole. Please understand. If your psychological time is less than 1 second, the gap between one thought and the other thought is less than 1 second, that thought acts as a black hole in you. That is what is death in you continuously. Continuously it sucks everything for no reason, destroys everything for no reason. The aging gets quickened. Any decision you make, you directly go to hell. And when more unit of physical time becomes psychological unit, your future becomes very solid, which you can perceive, use. I can say, if your psychological time unit, the gap between one thought and the other thought, kshana, is more than 4 seconds, the future, which is a solid material, will be given to you, out of which you can make as you want. It's like a wax handed over to you. You have freedom to do what you want with it. That is the material out of which your dream and waking state is made. Now, whatever you perceive, the persons who are sitting next to you, the person who is sitting opposite to you, the place in which you are sitting, or in imagination, the places you are able to remember, all that are made out of wax, which is called time. If you have a deep insecurity of melting this wax, you will hold on, even if this wax is torturing you, even if the structure you created is binding you. But if you do not have the fear to melt this wax building you created, wax world you created out of you, you are called Kala Bhairava. Bhairava means Bhayat Ramyate iti Bhairavaha. Who can flirt with fear is Bhairava. Understand? That's our exact translation. You can just flirt with fear. Means if the fear happens, come on, sit, let's have a little fun. You can very comfortably very beautifully, spend time with fear. Bhairava, who can just have the Ramya, very romantic space with Bhaya. Person whose psychological unit of time, Kshana, is more than 4 seconds, not only will have freedom to create his future, he will have healed emotion. Means he will just have a deep, complete centering on emotion. He can play it as he wants. He can put it on something or somebody and take it out immediately within a second. Living without getting attached, renouncing without having hangover. The complete conflict-free inner space. So, work on seeing your past as past, future as future, present as present. Any decision you make in the present will be the present to you by the presence. The today's truth: live conflict free and stay young forever. You may think, how living conflict free can make you live young forever? Understand the concept of time in the Vedic tradition. Because our rishis, our masters, know that time is a one more matter which can be handled, manipulated, used as we want. They have created a clear understanding about time. Please understand, time is a matter, just like a chair on which you are sitting. The chair on which you are sitting, you can move wherever you want. You can either sit on it or you can sit on the ground. You can use as you want. Same way, just like that, time is a matter. What is aging after all? Look deeply into this idea of time and idea of aging. See, your body is made out of bio-memories. Means lot of thoughts and engraved memories, engrams, which inspires you, pushes you into actions. Thoughts, engraved memories which pushes you into actions. These two are the base material for your body. Thoughts are like a random, vague, as I said, that random fishes jumping. Engraved memories, the thoughts which you picked up again and again to work, those became engraved memory. These two are the base material. Please understand, I am revealing one of the important truth. The gap between one thought and the other thought is Kshana, one unit of time in Vedic tradition. If you pick up more and more thoughts to make it into action, more and more engrams. Please understand, step by step. First, your body is made out of random thoughts and regularized engrams. Regularized engram means the thoughts which you again and again picked up to work, to make into reality. What for you are working. You are, maybe even thinking is a working. If you are thinking far in that particular direction again and again and again, it can be called as working. So, random thoughts like a fish is jumping in the lake, and specific thoughts which you again and again picked up, try to make into reality. Try to infuse reality. So engrams, these two are the base material for your body. This is one truth. The other truth, the gap between one thought and the other thought is a kshana, means time. As long as there are only thoughts, there is no aging. Only when the engrams hit the thoughts or thoughts hit the engrams, the aging starts happening in your body. Please understand. When you pick up more and more thoughts and try to make them into reality, the conflict starts. 10 seconds before you picked up the thought of being in silence and trying to make it reality. 10 minutes after you are picking up the thought of going to the office and working wildly and making money, you want this thought to become reality. Then starts conflict. Aging starts happening when there is a fight between the engram and thoughts. If there is only thoughts, there is no aging. There is no aging. Only the fight between the engrams and thoughts in your muscles is responsible for aging. If you look little deeply, the time, which is a one more matter, itself has no power to destroy your consciousness. Then what is it that is adding so much of fear, insecurity and sense of aging on us? Please understand. The time itself has no power over your consciousness. But your inner space, in which consciousness is also part, struggles constantly with fear and insecurity of aging and getting destroyed or being lost. What is that? Suffering. What is the reason for suffering? What is that which is suffering? Look both. The reason for suffering is your thoughts and engrams having conflict. What is that suffering is the biomemory, which is made out of these two, the thoughts and engraved memories. It's a very subtle, deep truth. I wanted you to understand this important fact. If you go and see the Kalabhairava in our ashram, in charge of security, is the Lord of Time, you will see he will be standing on the time shaft. Means he is the Lord of time shaft, who is beyond time shaft. If you see, he will be having his left leg in the front and right leg in the back. Funny thing is, the right leg represents the future, left leg represents the past. So he says, past comes before the future. Please understand. Now what I am going to utter is past. Please understand. What I am going to utter is past. What I am going to say is past. What I am going to do in next 1 hour is past. I am not saying what I did is past. What I am going to do is past. And you think, what? What is happening here? Anything which is going to happen, as you understand, is the conflict between the thought and engrams. I don't know whether you are able to catch. Anything which is going to happen is the fight and conflict between thought and engrams, means time which is already defined. Anything already defined is past. So the layer of your thought and engram which is projected further, even if it has not yet happened, it is past. It is past. You understand? It is standing. It is standing, but it is past because already it is projected. And the moments you spent in the past without the fight between thought and engrams is future, even though it is already lived. Listen. The moments you are going to spend in conflict between the thoughts and biomemory, thoughts and engrams, even it is not lived, because it is already projected, it is past. The moments you spent without having fight between the thoughts and engrams, even if it is already spent, it is future. Emptiness. The aging process is quickened if more and more thoughts hit engrams, or if more and more efforts are made to make thoughts into engrams. Now, stopping the conversion process of thoughts into engrams is unclutching. The process of converting thoughts into engrams is an automatic process when you are clutched. Stopping that conversion is unclutching. That is what I call conflict-free life. Either just go on fulfilling engrams, then they will become thoughts, they will get diluted and become thoughts. Or go on having thoughts, don't create engrams. Just sitting and something is going on, like a breeze. It's like a dreams passing by. Both will not let aging happen in you. When thoughts are getting converted into engrams, that is where the conflict starts happening, the aging starts happening, your muscles get tired, the aging process is working on you, time is creating its impact on you. Your inner space, which is mixture of the pure consciousness and thoughts and engrams, will start experiencing chaos only when the thoughts and engrams hit each other. Try to overlap onto other space. Actually, if the engrams becoming thoughts will not have much difficulty, much problem. But thoughts becoming engrams will create deep tiredness in you. See, all catharsis process which I am teaching you, either shouting or screaming or crying or releasing, is nothing but diluting engram into thoughts, so that you can unclutch easily from it. All catharsis process, including samana balancing. You see, samana balancing is a subtle part of engrams becoming thoughts. A reversal of engrams becoming thoughts. what you do in the life is making thoughts into engrams. That is what we call pravritti marga. And converting engrams into thoughts is what we call nivritti marga in Sanskrit. Understand? If you are moving towards nivritti marga, you will stay young forever. If you are moving towards pravritti marga, you will get aged very quickly. Aging is directly related to your inner space. The idea which you carry about you in the inner space directly reflects on your body. You can see the Indian middle-aged women are more aged, I can say at least twice more aged than a Western middle-aged woman. Because for an Indian middle-aged woman, after 2 kids, her life is done. Nothing more to be done. Nothing more to be done. But in the West, it's not like that. There is a life. There is life. There is something more to do. So your inner space, what it feels about you, is going to reflect directly on the physical aging. One devotee asked me in US when my father died. My father died by the age of 50. And he asked very innocently, will your mother not remarry? She can't imagine my mother is going to live without getting one more marriage. In India, you can't imagine after 40 a woman getting remarried. See the complete contra. She cannot imagine my mother is going to live without getting remarried. In India, you cannot imagine. Forget about planning or failing and all that. Even a thought will not cross in the mind of one more marriage. Because if you have 2 kids, your life is over. That is why quick aging means done, what next? But when there is, in the West, the idea is different. There is so much to be done. Means, understand. It may feel like so much to be done idea and converting thought into engrams are conflicting. Please understand, so much to be done means you are expecting the moments happened in your past which are future. As I said, there are moments happened in your past where there is no conflict between the thought and engram. That's what I call the space of excitement, happiness. When you wait for that which is up, even though it has happened in the future which is past, you are waiting for that past in the future. So there is a constant excitement, the aging does not happen. Today's subject is practicing conflict-free life. As long as you think there is something other than you, conflict has no life, life has no conflict. As long as you think there is something other than you exists, the fear or conflict continues to be alive in your system. All you need is tuning your system, tuning your body and mind to understand that there is nothing other than you exists, or there is nothing other than you exists. Please understand. Either there is nothing like you other than the other exists, or nothing like other exists other than you. Very powerful process in Hatha Yoga called Achapa Japa, means chanting beyond chanting. Even the chanting word is not exact translation of japa, Japa means more like a flowing. Flowing without flowing. Chanting without chanting. Ajapa japa. Constantly, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, your being goes on chanting this Hamsa mantra. When you inhale, the tone hum. When you exhale, sam. When we verbalize, even this hum and sam gets shape. But if you don't verbalize and just observe, the subtle version of hum and sam will be happening. It will not be complete defined hum or defined sam. It's like a sam. See, physically when you see, you have a defined body. When you close your eyes and try to visualize you will have an undefined version of you. It will not be a defined version. An undefined kind of a line drawing, caricature, cartoon, line sketch. Same way, when you sit and listen to this ajapa japa, flowing of non-flowing or beyond flowing, chanting of beyond chanting, if you observe that happening, you will see the line drawing or caricatured version, cartoon version of this Hamsa mantra will be happening. Please do not add that hum or some sound with will. No. I am not asking you to add with will. When you add with will, it becomes japa, means chanting. No. I am not teaching you that. I am telling you to sit and try to find out the mantra. In the beginning, it will be the dull version or undefined version of hum and sam. Slowly, either hum or sam will disappear. Understand? Hum means the idea, me, I. Sam means the whole. You can call it cosmos, God, or anything other than you. Anything beyond you. When the strong defining difference between this hum and sam disappears, you become Paramahamsa. As long as this hum and sam happens in you, you are a Hamsa. When the gap between the sound difference between this hum and sam disappears, means merges into one, that you and he merges into one, the I and you merges into one, you become Paramahamsa. You are beyond the Hamsa. Anybody who is beyond the Hamsa mantra is Paramahamsa. Constantly the Hamsa mantra is happening in you. First thing you need to do is become aware of it. Second thing, constantly try to be with it. Third, automatically the gap between the two will disappear. You are Paramahamsa. Understand? Very powerful technique for practicing conflict-free life. It's a very powerful way of balancing or elevating your internal consciousness beyond the conflict. The teaching which I was sharing yesterday, life has no conflict, conflict has no life, will become reality in you when your Hamsa mantra gets in tune. Because any verbalization goes on inside, adds its smell to your breathing. Any verbalization goes on inside, adds its smell to your breathing. Means adds its vibration to your breathing. So when you sit with Hamsa, first thing is verbalization, inner verbalization settles down. Only the physiological movements will be happening, means the physiological conflict of going in and coming out. When you sit with that also, even the physiological conflict will disappear. Please understand. As on now, you will not even be having pure hum or pure sound. Along with that hum sound, all the garbage which is going on the head will be going. Along with the sum, all the garbage, chaos happening in the mind will be happening. So when I ask you to sit with Hamsa mantra, the psychological mutation will happen. When you are having only the hum and sum, the psychological mutation will happen. Second step, when you continue to be with just hum and sum, the purified hum and sum will start getting settled with itself. So the difference between the hum and sum will start melting down. That is what I call physiological mutation. When the psychological mutation and physiological mutation happens, it's conflict-free life, living enlightenment. So the straight process, please understand, sitting with hum and sum, psychological mutation. Second, getting into the space where the hum and sum meets and merges, that is physiological mutation. When you work on this process, you will understand how directly it leads to conflict-free life.